The greatest discoveries begin not with an answer, but with a question. For all its power, the scientific method has one essential and often overlooked fuel: imagination. It is this fusion of rigorous inquiry and creative wonder that allows us to perceive nature's balance on a scale we are only beginning to understand, and it forces us to confront the blind spots in our modern vision, especially in a place like the Amazon basin. This required a revolution in perspective. Pioneers like Curt Nimuendajú evolved the method itself. They cast aside moral judgment, refusing to label indigenous peoples as primitive. Instead, they documented them as they were, complete cultures with worldviews to be understood on their own terms. This was the first step, clearing the lens to see what was always there. But a clear lens can still have a narrow focus. Our structured thinking can blind us to truths that aren't quantifiable. What happens when a story is so powerful it builds a community? When a myth dictates law, enforces balance, and guides survival? That story becomes as real as any physical evidence. It becomes a force of nature. And there is no greater example than the legendary guardian of the deep Amazon, the Mapinguari. So science engages in a fascinating act of translation. It takes the powerful language of myth and asks, what material truth might this point to? Could the Mapinguari, a creature of immense size with skin like stone, be a folk memory of a paleontological giant? This hypothesis led researchers underground to the Paradise Cave in Aveiro, a labyrinth stretching over 7 kilometers, the largest natural cavity known in the Amazon. And there they found their clue, the fossil of a giant ground sloth, a creature that stood 3 to 4 meters tall with colossal claws and, crucially, bony armor under its skin, a literal chest of stone. While older fossils showed giant sloths were in the Amazon millions of years ago, evidence from the more recent Quaternary period was missing here. Their confirmed territory was elsewhere in Argentina, Uruguay, the coasts of Peru. This fossil changed the map. If confirmed, it proves that the domain of these giants during the Quaternary also extended deep into the Amazon. It led us to redraw the ancient boundaries of a lost world. The parallel to the legend is not just intriguing, it's a revelation. This is how knowledge scales, brick by brick, hypothesis by hypothesis. And the deepest hypotheses lead us to the most profound secrets. The subterranean world of the Amazon holds secrets even deeper than fossils. Beneath the great Amazon River itself, science proposes a new statement: the Hamza River, a massive subterranean flow thousands of meters down with a volume of water that dwarfs the greatest aquifers. A hidden world hypothesized from data, reminding us that the truest maps are layered. A guardian spirit, an ancient giant, a secret river. Separate mysteries or a single layered truth? This is the all-knowing owl. We explore the science of nature's balance, delving into untold stories where data and legend collide. Today, we continue seeking to clarify our world, strengthened by a simple, powerful idea: that imagination is the fundamental engine of discovery. Sometimes myths and tales have the power to construct the very fabric of a community. That makes them as real as any evidence, wielding the same power to guide and govern. For the Caritiana people, the Mapinguari is a physical, sensory assault. A monstrosity shrouded in thick hair, hiding eyes some say glow red like embers. Its mouth is a gaping maw, and its odor is the stench of putrid meat, a warning that precedes it. But its most defining weapon is its roar, sounds so deep and powerful you don't just hear it, you feel it vibrate in your bones. It is a roar that commands instant silence, shutting down the entire chorus of the forest. The stories from hunters and fishers are not ancient history. They are contemporary accounts. They speak of an encounter with something that arrows cannot pierce, something that might even shrug off bullets. Its hide like stone. Its violence is fierce, but it is not random. Its objective is protection. The lore is clear. The Mapinguari makes its home in the depths of a specific mountain, a place rich with game, a hunter's paradise. Yet no Caritiana dares to go there. Why? Because the entrance is guarded by other dangerous beings, like the Porake, the electric eel, and they say the Mapinguari wields these eels like a living club. This isn't just a cave, it's a sanctified, defended sanctuary. So, what is the origin of such a being? The legends offer two profound, tragic answers. The first, a metamorphosis. A hunter or a lumberjack who greedily broke the forest's sacred balance was transformed into the monster as his eternal punishment. He became the very enforcer of the law he defied. The second, a curse of immortality. A chief healer, a page, who uncovered the ultimate secret, eternal life. But his reward was a condemnation to live forever as a horrifying, festering creature, a guardian trapped between worlds. Faced with such a potent and consistent legend, how could science not be intrigued? Expeditions have tried to find it, to pin it down, to classify it. Many have failed, but the sheer volume of reports leads to a compelling hypothesis. Could this be the giant sloth? A paleontological being, a relic from a lost age hidden in the vast, untamed wilderness? In the pursuit of truth, the scientific method must sometimes be as creative as the myths themselves. And this is where data and legend lead us to a different kind of subterranean legend altogether. So we arrive at the final layer, the subterranean legend that science has only just begun to map. This is the Hamza River, a hidden twin flowing silently beneath the Amazon River. It is not a static aquifer, but a moving body of water, a true river. Its proposed journey is as epic as any myth, from the peaks of the Andes to the depths of the Atlantic Ocean, and its scale is almost incomprehensible. While the Amazon River above varies from 1 to 100 kilometers wide, the Hamza's banks are up to 400 kilometers apart. This means a vast portion of the Amazon rainforest, the most biodiverse place on Earth, is quite literally floating on a secret sea. How do you discover a legend? Not with a shovel, but with data. The existence of these waters was confirmed through a work of doctoral research, analyzing the temperatures of 241 deep wells originally drilled by a petroleum company decades ago. From this old industrial data, a new profound truth was divined. The volume of water is staggering, over 160 trillion cubic meters. That is more than 80% of all the water in the Amazon. It is a volume 3 times larger than the famous Guarani Aquifer. This isn't just a river. It is the hidden foundation of the entire ecosystem. And just like with the Mapinguari, scientific discovery here catches up to traditional knowledge. Fishermen have long reported finding pockets of fresh water incredibly far from the coast. How can this be, they ask. Science now has an explanation. It comes from the subterranean flow. The Hamza River empties into the Atlantic so powerfully that it creates a freshwater environment 150 kilometers out to sea. The legend of the fishermen and the data of the geophysicist finally tell the same story. And so, the puzzle reveals itself not as separate pieces, but as layers of a single profound truth. Myth, bone, water. A guardian story, a giant's fossil, a hidden river, all connected vertically from the canopy down to the bedrock, proving that the most vital forces are often the ones we cannot see. It reminds us that to truly understand our world, we must look not just around us, but also below. Because the ground beneath your feet is never just ground. It is a story waiting to be read. If this journey through layers of myth and science sparked your curiosity, subscribe to the All-Knowing Owl. We're just getting started. Now, we turn it over to you. In the essential meeting between scientific method and imagination, which one do you believe is the true engine of discovery? Let us know in the comments.